Welcome y'all to another episode of Black Man's Thoughts. Um, Today we are with the Baltimore Ravens. Um, I think we're gonna do the 53-man prediction. Well, I do the prediction. I ain't gonna do 53 man. I do my prediction on various spots, who's at jeopardy. Uh, you know, but we kind of already did that a little bit in the where are we now in the offense and defense. But I'm going to start with this. I'm going to start with the quarterback position. I think that is going to be, uh, Lamar, Huntley, and Josh Johnson. I don't think Anthony Brown did enough to outseat Josh Johnson. My bad, y'all. I'm sick, man. Sick, man. Went home back to Ohio, man, and came back sick, man. But Anthony, Josh, I think it's going to be Huntley, Lamar, and Josh Johnson. Yeah, Josh Johnson. I was getting them confused. Running back, I think is going to be. I think it's gonna be. That's gonna be tricky, man. That's gonna be tricky because you start to see a lot of Justice Hill getting first team reps. Even when they played the preseason, he started over Edwards, which is very very interesting because this is no longer the Greg Roman offense. This is the Todd Munkett offense. So it goes into how does Todd Monken ushering in a passing seems to be heavy receiving uh a lot of receptions maybe going to the running back. So is it smarter to have a big bruiser catching out the backfield or somebody speedy to hit the edge? So I would say it's going to be, JK, Gus. I like Gus, but I'll be honest with you, everybody see it, and maybe we're not saying it because he's not healthy, and we just want to give it another shot. But he don't look the same he was. He don't look as imposing as he used to. Maybe he just ain't getting to rhythm. He's been out for a while, but just something that don't seem like the same Gus the Bus or Gus the Truck, whatever you want to call it. Justice Hill definitely has earned not only a roster spot and playing time, but he deserves a real shot to see what, can he be somebody? You know what I mean? I mean, last year, he had a he started to break out, bro. Like he really, really, really started to break out. And then you have Keaton Mitchell. I mean, how do you not add this guy and know that the minute you put him on that practice squad, I think somebody's going to pick him up. You can't risk that. I think he's showed enough on special teams as well to make the team. So you four running backs. I mean, that eats up at another position. You know, that eats up another position. Fullback, Ricard. But is it really in this offense necessary? Is it necessary? Now we have yet to see the full package of it, but we gonna see. We gonna see, and I'll be honest with you. Ricard is my surprise cut. I don't think Ricard makes it. I don't think he should make it. I mean, and I would tell you why, because the next position, the tight end group, Volchek, I think in a Volchek or something, he's shown enough. You have, and then you have 6'7", 265 Kolar, who says he spent the offseason he's learning to be that Boyle type blocker. Well, if he can be that Boyle type blocker and he's 6'7", and Todd Monken's running a two set, and you want to have another blocker in there, I would trust a Charlie Kolar catching out of the back or doing a little flat, a little quick out over a Pat Ricard. And he can block, supposedly. Maybe he can't block like Ricard, but, you know, he's a lot cheaper. But then it's like, hey, Ricard already has his money. So that's going to be the conundrum is, has the fourth tight end shown more promise than where this offense is headed with Ricard? That's the pickle. I think it's a three-way fight, really, and Cole is already making the team. He's a lock. So it's really to me a three-man fight between a running back position, a running back slot, a fullback, and a fourth tight end. Um, let's see. Let's go to left tackle. Uh, I don't see any major changes up there. I like the fact that Falele has shown good promise at the left tackle position. I think, you know, they're, like I said before, keeping Andrews out, not Andrews, but Ronnie Stanley out so long is like, are you confident that he's all the way healed? I mean, shit. I mean, back in the day, they used to use do. No, I'm not saying he's had any problems or anything. I just think it's odd. They just seem like very, very, very protective of Ronnie Stanley, and he should be like one of the players back, like what's this called, a Roquan Smith who lead in charge. Like, hey, we need to come back strong. We need to fight strong. I hear Marlowe talking about some, no excuses this year, but I haven't seen that fight in Stanley. It's like they're keeping him under. I don't know. He just been really quiet. They've been real quiet about Stanley, and I don't trust that. Especially since it's like, hey, bro, like at some point in time, there has to be shown confidence that we feel like the injuries are behind him. You know, but Falele shown great promise at the left tackle position. McCary does good at the left tackle position in stretches. Uh, in stretches. The left guard position, that's John Simpson. There's the rookie. Uh, he's got a very long name. I've yet to master it. I think he's the rookie. Is he out of Oregon, I believe? Or yeah, he's got a very long name. But at the same time, the question now is, if McCary's that good and you paint McCary, why can't McCary slide in? Well, from what I hear, reports is McCary does good at the tackles, but when you start to kick him in, it gets a little sloppy, and maybe it's because he's not built for that bull, that straight on pressure. Whereas the tackles, you could be a little bit more nimble and have more success just being nimble. Whereas the guards, man, you fighting some hogs in that line. Uh, I think Ben Cleveland's out of the running. Now they could completely surprise you and start Ben Cleveland. That's definitely something John would do. All of a sudden, he's the left guard starter week one. That'd throw everybody for a monkey wrench. But I think he's out of it. I think it's definitely a two-man race. I heard they looked at Ricard in those positions, and that's what he should. I think he should try to do the Boyle. It's uh, bulk up, gain some strength, gain some weight, add like maybe 10, 15 more pounds, and because the fullback position is transitioning out, and you're not some nimble ass tight end. You can be a third blocking tight end, but the way this is going, they still want their second tight end to be able to move. So I just think that he should actually try to look, on off season and working in lineman sets. That's just my opinion. Center, I know they got. There's been talk of another center. He just that's Tyler Linderbaug's job. Nobody else is even getting close to it. But behind him, I think we still got Tristan Cologne. Uh, they seem to like him. I need to check. But they also have another guy. Start with an M or a W or something like that. But hopefully it'll come to me. Right guard. That's Zeitler. Ben Cleveland behind him. Maybe even throw in I don't know. I mean, has McCary played that position? Zeitler's been pretty consistent though, and Ben Cleveland, I think he does pretty good. Just being a hog. You know what I mean? Put him at that right tackle guard position and just let him bulldoze people. That seemed to where they like him at. Um, right tackle, I think that's Moses Falele, but I wouldn't be surprised if later on in the season Falele takes that over. I know people like, another year. I really think they really, really like what they're seeing out of Falele, and then I think that they would actually put third. They would throw in a Ben Cleveland, try at that right tackle. I've heard that's what they've been doing. I don't know how it looks, but that's what I heard they've been doing. But that's your offensive line. I'm sure there's more depth behind there, but I don't think that depth is going to make a significant push, and hopefully not unless there's major injuries. So, quarterbacks, receivers. I said, I think there's six of them. I think there is number one, Bateman. Odell, Zay Flowers, Aguilar, Devin Duvernay, and I think Tylan Wallace has sold this up. And I think they all should play this year. And I think they all should, because remember, this isn't just for this year. We know that Odell, it's a 1 year contract. This isn't a sure thing. This isn't a sure thing that he's going to come back. It's a highly priced Odell. Then we got Bateman. Bateman has never finished the season. So I do think that this is where receiver development is going to show. Tyler Wallace has been there for a number of years. Who has been developing him, and we're going to see it. And I really do think he's going to excel. I really do think he's going to excel. For some reason, I think Tylan Wallace will excel, and I think he's going to be very good. Devin Duvernay, you always think he's out of it, then boom, he just reminds you why he's a weapon. He does something, and he may be one of those guys who doesn't show up a lot in the practice notes and stuff, but when game time comes, when it's really time to give him the ball, for some reason he makes the play. So I like that. If I heard Aguilar is doing pretty good, we'll see. And what we have been hearing, Bateman is ramping up. He's starting to make a lot of catches down deep. And that's good. That's good for his confidence. That I've heard he's not favoring that foot that Liz Frank. So that's a plus. That's a plus. So I definitely think that Bateman's going to surprise. And the fact that people don't talk about this, the fact that I think that people like a likely Zay Andrews, that's going to take so much pressure off of Bateman. We have so many weapons, but I think that Bateman he was already matched up against some really good cornerbacks and excelling very well. But now when it's like there's no more spying and his route running can really put pressure on an opposing cornerback, I think that what we wanted out of Bateman, he might not get the numbers, but I think what he does well will pop more this year because he can excel at just route running. He can excel at just using that speed, getting out of all that line, and getting out of those breaks. And maybe he'll never be 1,300 yards Justin Jefferson, but I think what he can be is a damn consistent 1,000, a 1K guy or a 900-yard guy with maybe like 8-9 touchdowns because his route running is so good. He gets off the line so well. But he does struggle with injuries and a few drops, but people sleep on this dude's speed. The way he actually makes plays after the catch. He does not just Hollywood and go out of bounds. The dude really he really tries to make something happen. So I see a really big year for Bateman. And hopefully, the injuries are behind him. I think that'll be good for his psyche. And once it is, I think he's going to get even better. I hate to see him, show so much greatness here and then go somewhere else and really, really, really be healthy and showcase even more. I think he can be better than Hollywood. Hollywood may have more of the flashy catches, but I think he could be more of a consistent threat, if that makes sense. Odell, I think he's going to do good this year. I think he's going to work hard. I think he's going to show how great he is. But we all know that Mandrews is Lamar's guy, and we all know that Lamar loves Bateman, and there's only one ball. You know what I mean? So, do I think Odell's going to get 1,400 yards? No, I really don't, because there's so many other players that are actually talented. But I think he's going to benefit as well off Andrews, because Andrews is a sure thing, and even though we know Odell is a sure thing too, one thing Mandrews has over Odell is the consistency and trust of Lamar. And I think that's what's going to have the opposing teams put their best corners or safeties to shadow Andrews instead of a Bateman, instead of a Odell. Maybe Odell deep, they shadow him, of course. They don't just put the weak guy on Odell. But what I'm saying is that I think that Mandrews is really going to Mandrews and Odell is going to really, which one are you going to double? Which one is going to go off? Because they know Zay is going to put a lot of pressure on that underneath, and over the top. So when you have people, route runners, I think this team is really, really balanced in the talent and the type of players it's collected. You have a gadget guy like a Zay, like a Dev, and a little Odell who can throw passes and make stuff happen, and then a route runner slash good after the catch guy in Bateman. I mean, that's a lot of stress that the safeties are put in. I mean, they're looking, their eyes is all over the place. So now it's like that leaves a mistake. That leaves I left someone open. That J.K. that Justice Hill out that backfield. That Lamar scramble. So much pressure on these edges, man. It's going to be very good. So the interior line definitely has to hold up because that's where they're going to attack. They're going to attack the interior of that line, I think, and they're going to try to put pressure on the edges to keep Lamar contained. But he doesn't have to be contained anymore because now he has weapons on the outside. So I definitely think it's going to be a lot of pressure on these defenses. But anyway, I think Tylan Wallace is going to step up this year. I think likely he's going to have a good year on offense. But yeah, I think Lamar should do well. The only thing about Lamar as well that I'm going to be watching is, and here's the reality. Big Lamar fan, but here's the reality as well. Lamar has never been given the weapons. He's never been given the opportunity to showcase his talent 100% like the other quarterbacks. But and here's the conundrum. Lamar has also been working with Tom House. He's had his own personal quarterbacks come into an NFL camp. He's had Brent Urban. He's starting to have a lot of people that has helped him. I don't want to see the same mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes. You know what I mean? If we're gonna yell at Lamar for inaccuracy, yell at Josh Allen. I get off that. But when you as well as like you see this team as like I gathered the talent. I let you bring in your coaches. You've had 3 quarterback coaches, damn near in 1 year. Everybody's working on you. I definitely want to see the progression. I don't want to see a lot of overthrows. I don't want to make a lot of excuses why he's not connecting outside the numbers this year. Because I think as we see in the preseason, there is a lot of spacing. The Ravens have a lot of spacing. The receivers have a lot of spacing when they're catching. They have a lot of playmakers to make the play after the catch. So this is a big year for Lamar, not in terms of numbers, but growth. Growth, and it's a shame because he's 5 years in, and he's just now getting the opportunity to grow as a downfield passer. So there is a level of grace you have to give him because unlike Josh Allen, who came in year 1 and they gave him the keys to throw, Lamar, they gave him the keys to run, and they didn't give him the keys to make calls and adjustments to the line. So the stuff that they learned 4 years ago, he's just now getting a chance to do. So there is a level of excuse he does get, but there also is a Lamar. When it comes to accuracy, though, when it comes to ball placement, getting rid of the ball on time, making the right read, that's all you, bro. We need to see big time. We need to see a big time quarterback doing that. I don't. That is unexcusable to me. But yeah, the little off a little tantrum. Let's switch over to the defensive side of the ball, man. I think D line. I think the rotation is going to be something like Pierce, Travis Jones. Travis Jones. You have Metabuke. You have a who else? Brent Urban. You have a who else? Rotation there. I think they're going to play a lot. I don't remember. I feel. Oh yeah. The other guy. I like Broderick Washington. I'm big on Broderick Washington. I think he's going to get a lot of play. He's good. They got good depth there. Last year Pierce was a dagger, man. Losing Pierce really hurt. Imagine what being able to lean on Pierce and Calais Campbell. I mean, that'd have helped out a lot. So I definitely think the defensive front is solid. Outside edge, I think it's going. I think it's going to be a rotation of, what's it called? Bowser when he comes back, Owe, Ajabo, Latavius Robinson. I also think some Simpson is going to be coming in at the edge sometimes. because they like him. They like that speed. They like his blitz mentality. And now, what's his name? Jadeveon Clowney. There's not a lot of veteran leadership there. That's what worries me. That group right there is already sketchy because there's not a lot of guaranteed success there. There's not a lot of guaranteed sacks in that room right there. To be honest with you, I mean, I would say the most consistent one would be a hurt Bowser and a inconsistent Clowney. So when it comes to getting pressure, I mean, or we're trying to say that we want more pressure coming from the inside than from the edge. I mean, it seems like that by their their signings, in a sense of they said we trust the rotation between uh our D line and Pierce and Matabuke and Travis Jones to get pressure because Britt Urban doesn't. He doesn't get pressure. Um so and they can't say that they know that Owe gets to the quarterback. They know Ojaba hasn't played enough to get to the quarterback. Bowser, they drop him in coverage a lot, but he's coming off an injury. But when he's real hot, Bowser can pass rush. I actually like Bowser a lot. So it's almost like they're saying like we're willing to go at it with a young person, but if they're putting their money on who's going to get to the quarterback, they to me it seems like they're saying that they believe that the D line. It would seem like the D line is more. If money's on the line, the D line is going to get the pressure. Is there's more money on the line on the D line? I think so. Hopefully that makes sense, man. Because there's no way they're confident in the outside edge. There's no way they can justify saying that we trust that money on the line. This outside edge is going to get to it unless they're saying that. Unless they're saying that they're also believing that the defense of the D line is going to get into because there's no way you can justify going into the season and the only consistent pass rusher is what a hurt Bowser and an inconsistent Clowney. Crazy. I believe that's the depth. There's people like Ham, uh, that showed flashes, but there's no way. I don't think he's going to have to completely dominate this last game, and I don't see that happening. I see he's going to be stashed on the practice squad. But I don't see nobody else that's just like standing off on the edge room. That's like that. Oh yeah, we got it. You know what I mean? Ojabo has not been great this preseason. I know this is technically his third, fourth game, but excuse me. But there's no way you go in there saying that, hey, we trust Ojabo. I mean, even if you watch, you know what, my man, Cole Jackson, check out his pod. He has every snap of Ojabo, and I watched it a few times, and I think it's called Road Graders. Check out Road Graders. I he had this video, and I'm like, I'm not seeing it. I just see moves. I don't see knowledge. And that comes, he's a rookie, of course, but I just see him, and it doesn't look like they're overwhelming moves. It's like, he does a spin move. It doesn't look, nothing jumps off of the screen to me. It doesn't. And that's what scares me. That explosion, he's getting to the pass rush, it's just not there. So hopefully everything what they said in Owe is in camp where they're saying he's unguardable, but we're going to see. We're going to see very, very quickly. Inside linebacker, obviously, is Roquan and Queen, but I've said it before. I like Marvin Harrison. I do. He's an old school, it ain't this generation linebacker, but listen, put him in there when it's Steelers games. Put him in there when we playing against the Titans. Put him in there when we playing against some boys that's against the Cleveland. Put him in there where it's all day, every day. They coming right up that gut, and we need people like him. It's good to have fast and middle linebackers that can cover tight ends, but sometimes when you facing these teams that are just like the Ravens who gonna ram it down your throat, you need that bully in the middle. And I love the way Malik Harrison plays that run stuffing position, man. I do think they should utilize him a lot this year. Like I said, the rookie Simpson, he hasn't been impressive to me. Missed a few tackles, showed some speed, but there's a little depth there. I like the depth of middle linebacker. I think the inside linebacker position is pretty depth. You got Christian Welch. he's gonna make it with the special teams. I just think that that's pretty good. The outside linebacker is definitely a weak spot on the team. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. It's definitely one of the, if not the weak spot on the team next to cornerback. Speaking of cornerbacks, let's get to it, man. Marlon Humphrey out. Rock Yassin just came back. Ronald Darby just came back. Jalen Armour Davis just came back. Brandon Stevens, really gonna count on him. Seymour showed some promise, but you know, uh, do you really want him matched up game on the line against any of the Bengals receivers? You know, not if you can help it. You know what I mean? That's a weak spot. That's a weak spot, and it's almost like take your poison. Me, if I know that my cornerback is a weak spot or is one of the weak spots, to me, if I was EDC, I would say I have to beef up the fucking edge. Jadeveon Clowney is just not enough. Uh, what's his name? Darnell Hunter from the Vikings. Go after somebody like that. Go after somebody, man. One of these people, man, you have to make a trade. Either get a solidified cornerback, or if it was me, I'm going to still go after that pass rush. It'll be nice to have, yeah, it's going to eat up snaps, but you know what? It's a long game. It's a long season. Yeah, Ojabo may not be out there every down, but what you can do is start him, go slow. Put him in on passing downs, but go out there and go get it, Ngakwe. Go out there and get somebody who's a proven, well-known, go get him. Go get him, because it's going to help out that cornerback room so much more if you do that. And they don't have to guard forever. So, I don't know. I didn't like what I seen on the preseason, because it seemed the damn peas thing is there, man. It's like pass all over us from the 20 all the way down to our 20. You got 80 yards to dominate us, but within the 20 we're gonna stiffen up. That's the damn peas, bend don't break. And you know, even though we got a total collective a lot of sacks, I don't know, man. I'm just scared about the sack situation, the pressure situation. So I don't know. Teams is getting the ball out quick. You have to be able to put some pressure on this quarterback now. Safeties, great depth there. Darius Washington stepping up. He could play slot cornerback and safety. He's just a ball hawk, man. Put him out there on the field, man. I love him. I trust him out there. To be honest with you, I was a big Stevens guy, but Darius Washington is showing that he's more of a playmaker, and we need a playmaker because Marlo isn't. Marlo can lock you down, but he's not a playmaker in the sense of a ball guy. We need some ball guys back there. We lost MP. We need ball guys back there. There's boys who got a knack for the ball. We got Marcus Williams, and we got Darius Washington back there. Geno Stone coming back. So get some ball guys out there who, when that ball is in the air, they just make a play. That's gonna also scare quarterbacks. You know what I mean? Instead of going deep, they're gonna chuck it down. You know what I mean? And we got speed enough to get to them. So I like it, man. So total, man, I don't think there's gonna be no surprises. Any surprises? I think cracking any starting lineups. No, not really. I don't think there's gonna be no surprises this year. I think who we think is gonna make the team is gonna make the team. I do think Tylan Wallace locked up that 6th position. I do think that the cornerbacks is going to be Marlo, Rock Yassin, Darby, Seymour. I think Worley. Is Worley back there? I think they got Worley as well. Is his name Worley? Wormley or Worley? One of them. That's 5. Brandon Stevens is 6. But then you got Jalen Armour Davis, you got Damian Williams. So it's going to be interesting to see who they keep. A lot of them haven't been out there, so these next weeks is going to be very crucial. This next preseason game tonight is going to be very crucial to see how Jalen Armour Davis, if he can go out there, start to show that he's that number 2 that they saying earlier. But the weak positions still for the 3rd year in a row to me is cornerback and pass rush. I don't see how that keeps being neglected, man. But that's the predictions. That's who I think is going to be on the team, man. Like I said, I don't think there's going to be no surprises. I definitely do. The only surprise, my guest surprise, is that Patrick Ricard gets cut. I could see Brandon Stevens getting cut. I can. or Worley or Worley or Wormley. Forgot his name. One of them two getting cut. I don't see Malik Harrison getting cut. I can see Christian Welch getting cut. Uh, yeah. But anyway, man, tell me what you think. Tell me who you think is going to be the surprise cuts. Who you think is going to make the team. Who any surprises to make the team. You think any undrafted free agents is going to make the team? It's going to be another year of a undrafted free agent. Do you think that the receiver position? You think Tyler Wallace has locked in the sixth position, receiver slot, man? Who you think will get that fourth tight end position? Let me know. Like, subscribe, share. It's your boy, man.